Welcome back, explorers. Our animal pal today is super cute, but you better be careful if you meet it on a stroll through the rainforest. Let me introduce you to the poison dart frog. Poison dart frogs live in the rainforests of Central and South America, and there are over 100 different species of these amazing little frogs, all of which belong to the dart frog kind. Poison dart frogs belong to a group or class of animals called amphibians. This group includes frogs, toads, newts, salamanders, and even unique creatures called caecilians. Though often confused with reptiles, amphibians are quite a bit different. For instance, reptiles have tough scales covering their bodies, but amphibians don't have any scales at all. Instead, they have smooth or sometimes bumpy skin. When a poison dart frog hatches as a tadpole, its parents carry it on their backs and put it in a pool of water or in the middle of a cup-shaped leaf. This is the perfect place for the tadpole to grow and develop. But how do their parents know to put them there? Because God designed them to know exactly what their young need. Now, I bet you're wondering why they're called poison dart frogs. Studies suggest that these frogs develop a toxin from the foods that they eat. This toxin can be deadly for other animals and humans to touch or eat. Can you put up 10 fingers? One type of poison dart frog, which we'll see here in a moment, has enough poison in it to kill 10 men. That's pretty scary, isn't it? Now we're back at the Ararat Ridge Zoo here at the Ark Encounter with Karina. Welcome back, Karina.
Thank you, Kyle.
So what do we have here with us today?
So right here we have 3 of our golden poison dart frogs. These are one of the largest poison dart frogs in the whole world, but they are an endangered species. They're only found on about a 2,000 square mile portion of the Pacific coast of Colombia. Now, what these frogs are famous for is being one of the most toxic animals in the entire world. Each frog carries about 1 milligram of poison, and that poison is called a batrachotoxin. And that poison is enough to kill about 10,000 mice, 20 people, or 2 elephants. So there is a difference between poisonous and venomous. So venomous animals inject their venom, typically with fangs or a stinger. So think of a rattlesnake or a scorpion. Whereas poisonous animals, like our golden poison dart frogs, you either have to absorb their toxin through your skin or ingest it.
Thank you so much, Karina. Now let's head back and we're gonna learn more about these amazing amphibians. On the count of 3, I want you to shout out your favorite color. 1, 2, 3. Green! Those were some good colors. Personally, I still think green is the best. Now, poison dart frogs come in a variety of colors, and when other animals see the frog's bright colors, they know to steer clear. After Adam's sin, poison dart frogs produced poison, which helps protect them in a fallen world from predators. Have you ever thrown a dart at a bullseye? Poison dart frogs have the word dart in their name because some indigenous people rub their blow darts on the backs of the deadliest of these frogs. The poison can stick to the dart for a year or more. Well, dart frogs have long and retractable tongues. Their tongues are fastened at the front of their mouth and are coiled up, ready to spring at the moment food is spotted. The tongues are also covered in sticky saliva that allows them to catch and hold on to their prey more easily. Now, our friend Tox is blue and black, and his dark colors help remind us of our 2 colors and the 2 C's that we're talking about today. His dark coloring represents corruption, dark for sin, and his blue color represents catastrophe, blue for water. He reminds us that the good, perfect world at the beginning isn't perfect anymore. Before Adam and Eve sinned, there was no death or suffering or disease or predation. All animals, including dart frogs, were vegetarian. But now, because Adam and Eve chose to disobey God and commit the first sin, bad and sad things happen, like having animals with poisonous abilities. The Bible says in Psalm chapter 14, verse 3, that we have all turned away and none of us do good. What this means is that sadly, just like Adam and Eve before us, we all sin. In the book of Genesis, chapters 6 through 9, we read that eventually the world became so evil that God had to judge the sin of the world. He did that with the global flood that killed all the land-dependent, air-breathing animals and people on Earth. However, representatives of the dart frog kind, like Tox, would have been on board the ark built by Noah, which God, who is merciful, told him to build in order to save 2 of every kind, 7 pairs of some of the air-breathing and land-dependent animals, as well as Noah's wife, his sons, and his sons' wives from the coming flood. And we read in Genesis chapter 9 that after the flood was over, God placed a rainbow in the sky as a sign and as a reminder that he would never again flood the entire earth. That's all for now, guys. Thanks for hopping by.